Hi, I'm Ellen Pompeo, and we're here to celebrate an evening with Shonda Land. I think writers in general kind of keep to themselves. And Shonda is that way. I mean, she's a very interesting person, but she's a person of very few words. And so when she feels very strongly about something, she voices it. And otherwise, you don't really hear from her or see her. She's so busy doing her thing. And she steps out when it matters and writes, a great finale like that Shooter finale or something. What's been the greatest thing for me to see over the last 8 years is her presence in television, her presence for women in television, her presence for women in power in television, and her presence for women of color in television. And the fact that she's been able to use her influence in casting, in hiring writers. Our shows, our crews are very diverse all across the board, and I'm very, very proud of that. There's so many older actors who work on our show. Just the show employs so many people, and with all of Shonda's shows, she has the opportunity to employ all of these actors. Shonda writes things that are unexpected and not always welcomed with open arms. She writes things controversial. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. She writes things that are going to push people's buttons. My favorite story of all times, of all 8 seasons, I have a lot of favorites, but one of my favorites is The Gay Soldiers. If I'm on a show where we can do things like that, show gay military couple, I'm happy to stay here 100 more years, because the world needs more of that.
So this journey has been a powerful one for Meredith. It feels like it's come full circle. Now she's got Zola in her life. Is she willing to maybe think about what's best for Zola and want to give up the medical practice just to be a mom?
I think we've had scenes that have reflected that train of thought.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think Meredith was born to be a surgeon. It's in her blood. And I think to pursue something as difficult as surgery, it's like a career in show business. You never want to give up. You just incorporate everything else into your life, and you have a really full life, like I do. Having Stella doesn't lessen my passion for acting. I just bring her right into it, and my life just becomes more full and more wonderful, and I think that holds true for Meredith. Having a baby just makes being a surgeon even that much better, because you have it, so much.
So you think she's able to balance it all and pursue it all and have a full life that way?
Listen, we women, we do what we can. Everyone does it. It's hard some days, it's easy some days, but I think all of us women go through the same thing, and we all make it through, and we all end up doing okay, and we do the best that we can, which is what's important.
With these boards they're facing and the big results coming up, how competitive has it gotten for the characters?
Well, they're competitive, but they're not testing against each other, sort of. They test with individual proctors, so at the end of the day, it's just them alone in a room with the proctor.
But once they pass, then they compete for the same job position?
Not really, because people have different specialties. There's a different cardiology program. The cardiology program at Stanford is better than it is where, in a neuro, where the neuro program is strong. So whatever your specialty would be, you'd want to go to the best program for that specialty.
Okay.
All schools specialize in something they're known for something.
This seems like it's a turning point for all the characters. This could really affect whether they stay in Seattle Grace or move on further. Where would you like to see Meredith and Derek end up at this point?
All the lovely actors around me.
I always say I don't have any expectations. She knows what she's doing. She's written a wonderful show for 8 seasons. We don't have any control over what it's going to be. You just have to have faith. It's always great. The fans always stay with us, which is what's important. So it doesn't matter what it is, She cares deeply about the show and about the quality of the show. And as long as you have people making the show that really care about what they're doing, we're all doing the best we can.
Okay, maybe one last minute teaser for the fans they can look forward to as the season kind of wraps up towards the big finale.
I can't say anything. I don't even know about the finale, honestly. I have no idea. It's all up in the air still.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you.
Thank you. I think we've had scenes that have reflected that train of thought.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think Meredith was born to be a surgeon. It's in her blood. And I think to pursue something as difficult as surgery, it's like a career in show business. You never want to give up. You just incorporate everything else into your life, and you have a really full life, like I do. Having Stella doesn't lessen my passion for acting. I just bring her right into it, you know, and my life just becomes more full and more wonderful, and I think that holds true for Meredith. Having a baby just makes being a surgeon even that much better, because you have it, you know, so much.
You'll have to see. That's a very interesting character question for her, and I'd like to see what you would think, how far she's progressed since that, because, you know, I'd say earlier on, you know, Christina from like season 1 to 3, it would have been answered one way, and I think now she's grown emotionally enough that it might be answered another way.
You know, I always say I don't have any expectations. She knows what she's doing. She's written a wonderful show for 8 seasons. We don't have any control over what it's going to be. You just have to have faith. It's always great. The fans always stay with us, which is what's important. So it doesn't matter what it is, you know. She cares deeply about the show and about the quality of the show. And as long as you have people making the show that really care about what they're doing, we're all doing the best we can.
Oh my God, I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy you said that, because people don't get that. I feel like I so agree too, because also I play her, but like I always feel like people don't get her. She's not mean. Yes, she can be mean, but I feel that she has she's extremely principled and compassionate. So thank you for saying that.
I can't say anything. I don't even know about the finale. Honestly, I have no idea. It's all up in the air still. So.
For me, personally, I grade compassion as being an extremely strong, a characteristic of what it is to be strong. So, and I feel after 8 seasons, we've seen that part of compassion of Christina grow. I really wanted to make that happen.
Ellen, I was asking Sandra about, you know, being challenged even after you played this character for so long.
Yes.
Are you still surprised at what Shonda's coming up for your character?
Yeah, I mean, I think Shonda has a lot of passion for the show. So she's always coming up with ideas, whether they're outrageous, whether people agree with them or they don't. She's always pushing the envelope, and she's always coming with something a little off-center, which I think is what people keep watching. And the challenge in a long-running series, any job is challenging. And the challenge in a long-running series is how to make the scenes fresh. So it's not that, you know, you're not challenged anymore. You're challenged every minute, just in a different way. You know, how do I play this scene different? How do I keep the fans interested and not expecting what I'm going to do? How do I make it interesting for the fans? So it's more of a challenge now, in fact, than it was in the beginning, because when everything's new, you kind of can just do it and it's exciting and fun and creative. When you're doing it for season 8, you really need to think about, stretch yourself creatively and say, is there a different approach? Am I being too safe? Am I falling into my same patterns?
Right.
What can I do to keep myself and the audience entertained?
Okay, and I heard you mention the word crisis for Meredith.
Yes.
Is this an unexpected crisis as far as viewers are concerned? Is this something we're going to see coming? What can you...
Oh no, it's unexpected at a very bad time.
Oh, always.
Yes.
All right, have fun tonight.
Thanks so
Ellen.
much. Well, obviously Grey's is what started Shondaland. So it all sort of came together from this show. So the inception of Shondaland was born out of Grey's. So it's sort of, we've been apart since creation. We were part of the creation of Shondaland. But I think that Shonda, you know, is in a very unique position because there's not a lot of women running television shows, creating television shows. There's not a lot of women working as writers in Hollywood, not in films, not in television. We need more women writing and creating television shows. And the fact that she's able to do that, the fact that she's able to have the power that she has to hire diverse casts, which no one else will do. I don't even think half the writing rooms in Hollywood are diverse. The fact that she has this much weight and this much power to put black actors everywhere and employ black actors and Asian actors and actors who ordinarily, you know, don't get the same shake. They just don't. You don't see diversity represented in television or film as much as we see it in real life. I mean, look at this carpet, you know? So the fact that Shonda is able to throw that in and force it down people's throats. I think it's time, and I celebrate it with everything I have.
Any inside scoop on upcoming episodes?
I know there's a lion this Thursday night who was very cute. His name was Felix. And that's all I know.
A lion?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, how does that fit?
You'll have to watch and see.
Just to get that I know the next day is Friday. I'm like,
What's your name?
Warner?
Thank you, Warner. It's nice to meet you.
Pompeo, can I get a picture with you?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Would you have a single line? Do you have a single line?
To Kevin? Yes. Yeah.
I should have voted.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's it.